accept the minutes as written.
Yeah, Alex was the first, Tom has the second, all in favor? Everyone except for Polly? Oh, you're, okay, you, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see your
Sit
hand.
up a little closer.
You're good. Unanimous, thank you.
Okay.
The next item is public hearing. Don't believe we have anything for public hearing now. New business, so the first item is Team Hungry and Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy. Jeff, thanks for coming.
You did bring the cold weather.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Latham. I'm also a teacher over at East Covina High School. Been there for 22 years, been doing this for about 42 years. I need to retire. But I'm coming here as a representative of Team Hungry and Chick-fil-A Leader Academy. And one of the things that we have 30 kids who are picked at our school, and they try to come up with something they can do in our community. And one of the things that they chose this year was to see if they could put in a playground in Sharpsburg. And so that's sort of what I'm here for. We tried to put it up on the screen. They put together a beautiful display. So we went ahead and run it off, and I'm gonna ask my daughter to go ahead and give you a packet of what this looks like.
Thank you.
And the idea is to do a sensory playground.
Okay.
And as you get this, again, these are all designed, created. Every one of my students that we were hoping to be here, my tech team and my leaders, their parents are all in the military, and they're doing something for Veterans Day tonight.
Yeah.
And so that's why there are no students here. And so I just kind of want to, hopefully I can run through this with you and just let you know what, and I'm not going to read everything. I just wanted to show you what they put together, what Chick-fil-A Leader Academy really is. We started it, we started to be a part of it over 12 years ago. There are now over 3,500 different schools that have a Chick-fil-A Leader Academy in it, and we are one of them. And obviously Team Hungry, some of you are very aware of that. We're a nonprofit. We're partnering with Chick-fil-A Leader Academy to do this. They put together a mission statement. They just wanted you to know they really have a passion for this group. They put this whole history together for Sharpsburg, which I'm sure you know. And then you'll see where it says the area, that's where they want to put it in. It's 2,500 square feet, and that's where the old playground used to be. And they have gone up there, they've measured it out, they've weighed it out, and what they are presenting to you is from Miracle Playground Company. I believe somebody from about 5 years ago talked to some of them about putting an amphitheater in here or something. So they said, oh, I know exactly where Sharpsburg is. I said, oh, you do? And so I said, wow. But if you look on the instruments, there would really be 7 to 8 instruments or pieces. They want to do a section for music. And again, you're looking at, this is not a playground, it's a sensory playground. It's for certain types of children. And I mean, all kids can play with it, but they're trying to gear toward, some emotionally disturbed, or even looking at if they can get everything paid for. They would like to be ADA qualified, but you can't put a lot of things in there if you're just going to do a Rube Goldberg through the next slide over. These 3 pieces are the main pieces. You'll see they're pretty large. They're pretty costly, but that's what they're choosing, and that's what their goal is. And again, it's a lofty goal for what they want to do. And the bottom line is, if they don't raise the money, we don't do nothing. It's a win-win situation in a sense. You can see what, and these are real prices from what all the quotes are. And you can see what they're trying to raise, and you don't even worry about phase 2. That's something when I was talking to April, and she said that Sharpsburg was really founded on the railroad and the cotton gin, and they found, I don't know if the picture is good on there, they found the railroad playground, and that would be something that they kind of wanted to do Down the road phase 2 for 2027. And that's huge.
Yeah.
But it's on the table, that's all I can say. And so I've got some more things I know you're gonna have. Kevin's got another set of questions
Okay.
that,
I have a question about, the product for the,
Miracle,
for, not the floor, but just the product on the ground.
yes.
So it says wood chips or rubber mulch, and I just, do they think that, people that might be in wheelchairs will visit it? No?
No.
Because I was gonna say, I don't think that you would be able to get, I don't know about the rubber mulch, but I don't think you can get a wheelchair
No,
through
you
wood chips.
can't, and they've already talked to people in ADA.
Yeah.
They would love to do that. If you go for that. You can see, these are just some of the things that I'm kind of throwing at you, what questions do you have? So you see, who do we need to work with if it's approved? What are some of the restrictions that you would see in trying to make this happen?
Yeah.
What type of approval would we need as our body to move forward? Are there zoning codes that we must consider? And is there a certain type of flooring that you as a council, as a town, would prefer? Because it does have a little slope, and so, and it rains,
Yeah.
Edging. I mean, there are a lot of things that these kids have actually thought of, and, yes, ma'am.
My question is maintenance, because that is a big issue. We don't have anyone here to check the grounds and to make sure everything is working and nothing is broken and so forth and
Right.
so on. It actually goes back down to Boyd and myself. So who's gonna do the maintenance on it? If there's a problem, if something's broken, who's gonna come
Right.
out and fix it? Because we don't have. the
And
ability
that
to
would
do
be
that.
something that we would have to, I'm trying to think of, I was trying to be a lawyer here and put the right wording, memorandum of understanding. That would be something, what our kids said that they would commit to doing is, at least for a year, to come back, like during Sharpsburg market, they would come and look at it. But after a while, we would just say, we donate this to the town, and the town will take care of that. And so it's, from maintenance and everything.
Oh, excuse me, I've got a question. You said the budget is 86,000, and in one of the places it says you won't start till you have the money. Does that mean you wouldn't start till you had $86,000?
That's correct. And again,
How are you gonna raise that much money?
I don't know, they're gonna sell a kidney or something. It's a lot to go. And again, I'm not supposed to be the one up here talking. My kids were supposed to all come. But we'll be meeting, we've been meeting for about 2 months trying to get all this together. And so they're gonna try to do it through sponsors. And as you go down, you can see, questions that they asked, if they were able to go to IKEA or Delta and say, would you be willing to come up with $25,000 and call it the Delta Park? I mean, what is the town's saying on that? If a person donated, if a company bought one of the large playground pieces, which are about $8,000, would you allow a plaque to go on that? So those are some of the things that they're asking, and you can see all those there. But again, I know it's just throwing it at you real quick, and it may be something you gotta consider. And again, the bottom line is on my end, as the leader, we're not going forward until they raise the money.
What happens if they don't raise the money? Is the town going to be responsible for any of the costs for this?
Nope.
Okay.
You are not responsible for absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Are you looking for anything from us tonight as far as starting to raise the money? I mean, this is kind of a,
Yeah.
From us, what we would like tonight is just to say, hey, go for it. And then start thinking of, are there permits that we need? What are the things we would need to do from a town point of view, from a county point of view? And we've already talked to the playground people about the construction and all that. That's on them, that's all covered, that's all under their warranty and under, their jurisdiction. And so we won't have to worry about that either. And so that's really what they're wanting do they have permission to proceed? To go ahead and start pushing it and planning it social media wise, and then to going out there and say, hey, we're doing it on Sharpsburg, without your permission there. Somebody can't say Sharpsburg, and so they're wanting to know if they can try. So that's their bottom line.
Let me ask a question. Has Chick-fil-A sponsored one of these before?
This is not a Chick-fil-A event. It's a Chick-fil-A Leader Academy, which is separate from Chick-fil-A corporate.
Well, it says Team Hungry and Chick-fil-A's desire, so I thought it was Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A Leader Academy.
Oh, okay. So, has Miracle, done this before in the same format that you're proposing?
You mean having a group of people trying to raise money? Or?
Right. Well,
Yes.
and I don't know with Team Hungry and Chick-fil-A, of course, I'm familiar with doing this with Kaboom. And we do an agreement with Kaboom, and everybody's on board the way the money is raised to do these particular playgrounds in that way. I'm not familiar with Miracle. These are great looking equipment, but in other words, if the town had an agreement to do this, is that gonna be with Team Hungry? Is Team Hungry gonna put their name on the line for this agreement with the town?
Team Hungry and Chick-fil-A Leader Academy, yes.
Okay, but we will be contracting with Miracle,
You will not. We will.
okay, but you're gonna guarantee their work. You've
They're
got
gonna guarantee
li-
their work.
Okay, you've got liability insurance that would cover,
They have that.
you said you're with the town, so if you don't have it, then we'll have to contract with Miracle and have a three-way contract.
Okay. So in reference to insurance, is that what you're saying? Or what?
Yes. In other words, if a child gets injured,
Okay.
you're gonna get sued, town's gonna get sued, and Miracle's gonna get sued. So there has to be a contractual relationship with all those.
I got you. Now, how does that end when you
Yeah,
have the
and
playground
for the
before?
warranty to be effective, there's gotta be that relationship with the town. So we do this is not unusual, but it's just,
Right.
usually it's with a group that is familiar with doing this type of work, not like what you're doing with high school kids.
Right.
Follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, but we can put all that together, but it's gonna be a little more than just a memorandum of understanding. And then what we'll have to do is get, what's it called? Paul, safe bill, we'll have to, because somebody's gonna have to furnish all the plans and everything and do all the site work. They'll have to be a professional to do all of
Right.
that.
And, yeah, that was one of their questions too.
So, if you, is Miracle, again, not being familiar, will they come in, prepare the site, put all the infrastructure in place and then put the equipment? Or they're just gonna drive up with a flatbed and unload the
They
equipment?
can do both. And they can do that too. They can do ground and they can install and everything, yes.
So we would need Safe Built to be able to review everything that was going on, to do it. And then Angie's question about the maintenance issue, if it's on town property, town's going to maintain it. Yeah, so,
That's fine, that's fine.
And did I hear you say that y'all sever your ties with it after a year?
Yes, but, you know, as long as I'm around, you know, we're on that. It's not something I wanna walk away from, just, and I was told, you know, agree to 1 year and then just back away. But it gives our kids an opportunity, to, you know, in all honesty, if you've been, Ms. Polly's been to a market, I mean, I've got 25 kids that come and volunteer because they want hours. And you say, hey, go clean up a playground. Yeah, they're gonna be there, and so we can continue to do that. And so they've come up here and done things before in the past, so, but yes, at least for a year.
And that would be fine. I mean, it's the whole idea of getting it built, making sure the insurance is in
Yes.
place to cover it, and that would come both from the town standpoint and I assume Miracle, so that at the end of the period, once everything is finished, the Team Hungry can move out of the picture. That'd be fine.
So, if council wanted to explore this, what would be the next step as far as legally finding out that Miracle would,
Well, I think that would be the thing, is that
Yeah.
I'm sure that he's been talking with people with Miracle, is to arrange a meeting with the Miracle folks and Team Hungry and Safe Built, and just all get on the same page about what would need to be done. Cause you got, you know, as they said, environment, you got drainage issues gotta take place, there's a lot of engineering
yeah,
that has to go into putting something like this in place. And particularly if you're putting this type of material, whether it's wood chips or whether it's, the engineered material that goes down. You know, there's a lot of moving parts to that type of stuff, so.
And the other option on flooring is don't do nothing, just do like it was before, just put it in the ground. So, I mean,
I don't think that would work in the sense of it being accessible.
I don't know as far as the laws around the playgrounds, there are several.
Yeah.
The last time this came up, there was a lot of comment about it. You remember we talked about it before, and said there was all kind of restrictions and requirements now.
Right, there are.
Well, but this is different material, this is not swings and
Right.
slides and all that.
Okay,
Well, I
now,
realize
This is
it's a different type thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
you
that's
think
one of
that
the
would
reasons why they chose to do this, because
That's,
when you go up, you gotta, it's,
it's a whole
yeah.
different ball.
And they said that they didn't wanna do it now.
Here with the material on the ground is, as opposed to leaving it natural, is when it rains, it's not gonna be accessible
Right.
for the most part, you know, until it dries out. So that's why you want some material that would drain so that you can utilize it most any time. So
Right.
that's-
So
So it's a
this
little
would be
different.
preferable then. actually.
Yeah, well, and, I mean, you know,
Well, preferable liability.
I'm not saying what kids will do, but this is not where you're gonna have them climbing up on top
That's
of
what,
this.
but that's what I meant by
Falling
preferable.
off.
The liability is less with this type
Yeah,
of playground.
This is an entirely different,
Okay, yeah.
different circumstance.
I would suggest that we get everybody together and talk about it, see what, answer all the questions we can come up with. And then, we know what we're looking at. Then we need to sit down and figure out what we want to do back here. Because we've talked about everything from nothing to a $75,000 playground, a conventional playground, teeter-totters and whatnot. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do. And this is just one of the options.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the thing is we have to see how this would potentially fit into our overarching plan for like a swing slide type. We've been talking about playground for 2 years since the other one got removed. There's still no definitive plan. I mean, I've looked at this plan for 10 minutes, so I definitely don't feel comfortable saying, hey, go raise money. Of course, the other part of me says, you got 86, let's do it, you got the money. That's great, but I don't wanna send you out raising money for a plan that I don't think the town really, I don't think we as a town have our plan figured out of how we wanna use the space. We got Beckham property, to potentially remove, may use that space for recreation, so, yeah, I think Tom's right that we may wanna have a more focused session before we send you guys out there raising money for a particular plan. Might see what changes or edits, to the space, but, I mean, I like what they've put together,
Yeah.
Yeah, it might,
I wouldn't feel good about telling you to go for it, go raise money right now after this meeting.
But my other thought is that if you tell them to go ahead and go, and if they raise money, if it doesn't work, where could they put it
As
somewhere
long as
else?
it'd be okay that, hey, if you raise the money and hit your goal, then I'm sure we could all come to a compromise that would work, and it may be this or something close to it,
maybe, yeah.
And so it's just.
Personally, I'm open to the idea of the stuff you're talking about.
Right.
Sure.
It's a lot to take in. and-
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think it's something.
I just wanna make sure, like legally, that we're not gonna be, liable for,
Yeah, and I think that's what Brad's saying about,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to contract with, Miracle and providing the equipment.
You know, and again, they really did think through that, because they didn't wanna have any climbing, they wanted to deal with it touch, on the ground.
How long has this company Miracle been around?
52 years.
How long?
52 years.
Oh.
I mean, it seems like it would be, if we did a more significant, playground, that would be a cool auxiliary, use kind of area as well.
And it may be the beginning of a destination place going, hey, people are coming, let's go ahead and really do what we were thinking. So that was really my thought, do something with what you have, because you can always use those pieces of equipment somewhere else, even if you move around.
You have to ask yourself, how much chimes, congas, and vibes do you want playing, during your different events, though, so you definitely have to be
It's gonna happen.
careful with wild children during, maybe things are like, we didn't really need congas
Play.
for this, for the market, we didn't need congas in the background and
I
chimes.
think
all
it'd
day
be
long.
good.
Something to
You
think about
could
too.
charge extra for
Yeah.
it, for music.
I don't think the neighbors across the street do.
Yeah, well, hopefully it would be an hour without a problem. But that is something to consider, it's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this.
So I guess, as we close that out, can they just try to raise money? And just say, if we raise money, we would like to present it back to the council table, this is what we'd like to do. And again, it's just.
defer to Brad.
That's a good question. I think that we ought to put some kind of agreements in place, to go out and raise money, and what happens if they fall short. What happens if, we've got $88,000 in a budget, but if it takes them 3 years to raise the money, it may be $188,000
Right.
at the end of 3 years. So unless you go ahead and we figure out exactly what we're doing, without some of this stuff minor compared to other things, but at least some of this engineering, taking a look at before we can come up with some numbers. That's the one thing, I guess, if you start putting money in the bank, what happens if you don't get to 88,000? And that's gonna come back on the town.
Right.
If the town has approved it, to be able to give the money back.
Yeah, what if you get $80,000 and the town doesn't approve?
What he's saying is, what if you hit 40,000 and it doesn't ever happen, and now people have donated money for a playground, it never happens in Sharpsburg, and it falls back on us.
Because they're gonna be raising money in Sharpsburg's name.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm comfortable with is saying, let's discuss it some more.
Shall I table the motion? We don't have a motion yet, we'll have it.
No,
No, we have not.
No,
it's not, it's not up for a vote anyway.
it's just a new business item, so.
Well, from a town point of view, what do you need for us to do? Talk to Miracle about the legal part that you were talking about, liability wise.
Well, I don't think we can tell you what to do tonight. I think what we need to do is sit down with staff and maybe somebody off council, is sit down and go through what you have, what your overall plan is.
Okay.
In other words, how you gonna go about doing what you're gonna do? Where's the money gonna be placed? Whose bank account? All of that. And then also to meet with the Miracle folks to find out how long they're gonna honor these prices. What are these things we're gonna do? And so it probably is an MOU, but then when we come back, the question is Miracle gonna say, well, before we honor this, we wanna a price and we want a guarantee from somebody. I mean, that's what I've had these
Right.
companies do before. So then the town's gotta have to decide if you're gonna guarantee it, if they fall short, because there will be some deadline that they're not gonna honor the 44,000 or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think that's what we need to do,
Yeah.
is sit down with staff and someone with council. Not that someone from council would commit council, but at least that someone would be involved in the discussions. That could be the mayor or anybody on the council.
Yeah.
You see, that's why they needed to be here, because I wanted to learn as they go.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready for your second?
I guess, let's go with it. I'll be fast on this one. And again, I'm now Jeff Laban, part of Team Hungry. And, we're coming today, and I just thank you for allowing us to be here for the last, I mean, it's been 7 years, even though we took a 2-year hiatus for COVID, I believe. And I'm just coming and I'm asking to secure dates and times, for Sharpsburg Market for 2026, and have the fee waived for a nonprofit organization. And one of the things we've seen this year is we're right at about 77 different vendors who've asked to be a part of this. And of those, we have 22 that are brand new to the market. And of those, or not even, of more, we have 16 vendors that just started off, first time ever doing a market at Sharpsburg Market. And we have surveyed all of our vendors one-on-one. I did it this year and didn't give them a computer thing because I'm not as good as Monica is. And they still love the town, they love the atmosphere, they love being here, and the kids that are here work great for them. And so, and 100% of every one of them said I would come back again, and this is a awesome market to be a part of. And we're hoping to be able to do it again next year. The dates, we've got those dates. The thing we're doing differently this year is it's gonna be starting in April, the fourth week in April, which would be, because there's something already planned for the 3rd. And then we're not gonna do July, because July was way too hot, and ain't nobody in town. And so, and then we would do the second week in December. And so it would be only 7 months this year, and not 8 as we have done in the past. And so we just have to continue doing our market here, and help push Sharpsburg Market, and push Sharpsburg.
How's your attendance?
Pardon me?
How's the attendance in your,
It's probably about the same as last year. We've had a lot of ups and downs. Like with that one time we had that storm that came through.
yeah,
I mean, it was like, I don't know if you were here, it was pitch black, literally. It was just as dark out here. And we've had some people, sicknesses hit us. I had 13 vendors in one market, all calling in sick. And it's like, it kind of takes away from everything. And so like this one coming up this week, I have 30. I had one call in just a few moments ago, wanted to be a part of it, I had one cancel, and we've got about 33 signed up for December. So it's getting up there, you know, and so we're trying to continue to make it grow.
The comments I'm gonna make, I made after our last council, I asked to be put on the agenda, that was already on. About some comments that you made about our budget for the coming year. You remember when you warned us that we were tight? And this comments I'm gonna make about this and about something else on the agenda were made when our budget was dangerously short for the coming year. And one of the things, I'm gonna say them anyway, even though we have the floss fund now, I still think it needs to be considered. I think that I've called a couple of towns and the county, and people that are doing nonprofits, which you all are still paying some amount for the use of it because it takes the staff lots of times. And the use of the facilities and all, and it takes a spot that somebody else may or may not use. And two of the towns, Turin and Moreland and the county have a flat fee for nonprofits. Of course, we do what we want to, we don't do what they do, but that kind of takes away from not having to pay anything at all is, I think, a little bit much for the fact that it is being used. And I've been twice, I've been out there 2 times, I was there at the storm time, you remember?
Yes, I do.
And it's a good event, and I voted for it, in fact, because I think I made a motion for it last time, and I know I voted for it. But I think with the budget as it is, and we don't want to use our funds money, we kind of need to start putting some aside. I think it would be good to consider some amount for nonprofits, which would include you, across the board. So if anybody else comes up, we would still have a set amount. Because based on precedent, if one person gets it free, the next person that comes in.
Absolutely.
And we've got 2 other religious places right here, maybe, no, 3, one right next door, that could get a wind of this and decide to use it and would put us kind of on the spot. So I think if it would be approved, I'm sure, but I think we should consider some amount, even if it's a minimum amount, to be paid. In spite of the fact that we see that you're getting ready to do us some good.
How hard would it be to determine the minimum cost?
All I know is what I got from these other 2 that are doing it. They just have a flat fee, and I've got the paperwork here.
Oh, you have the flat fee, the amount that they charge?
Well, I didn't write it down separately, but, oh shoot, everybody take one and find it. Well, this one is Moreland,
Tom can find it.
they have different for day events, night events, and pavilion.
Well, that's their schedule.
That's the Moreland. And,
As far as.
they only charge from 9 to 5 in Moreland. They only charge $50 from 9 to 5, which is not a whole lot of money.
Right.
Some of them charge, I think up to $250.
Okay.
And some of them have it different from morning and afternoon and night and pavilion. And by the way, the pavilion, they can't use a restroom. I don't know whether y'all do or not.
They
Yeah,
do,
they do.
yes.
Yeah, but Moreland for that $50, they don't use a restroom.
Gotcha.
And that's another thing that probably has to be maintained too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just think it needs to be considered.
Yeah.
My question was, can y'all provide us with a cost?
We have not, we typically have had, and Troy and I have talked about this, is that we're not giving special for nonprofits because our
That's not my
expenses.
question. My question is, can y'all tell us what it costs per weekend
Oh, for
to give them
$6,250.
not the alternate cost? What's it cost to clean the restrooms? What does it cost to
It's
run
not
the
broken
lights?
down that way.
It's not
We
broken
don't
down.
check.
But you couldn't you?
It would have to be $175 minimum, right?
It would almost be, if we're talking about how much supplies our equipments are,
Correct.
light bills are, and we need micro going into micro budgeting, and no, I haven't gone into that yet.
Right.
So I don't have the answer.
But it
What is the
exists.
cleaning fee?
The cleaning fee is $175.
Okay.
So that would be the minimum, that's not
Right.
counting the fact that, and that's the inside and outside, but that's again not taking into account the expenses for the water, for the
Right.
toilet, everything that has gone up. I mean, we're hurting as far as supplies. Our supplies are getting higher and higher and more expensive to cover, so, that's the reality.
Well, I would think that you could say, for example, our water bill annually is X. And the time involved with this is
Right.
1/100th of that. And so, and you can build your costs. You can build your costs and determine what the minimum should be, not what the alternative, is, but what's the cost?
I mean,
What's the?
No, I haven't worked up the individual prices of toilet paper and water bills. I haven't done that. I mean, if you want me to, I can go there and crunch numbers, but no, I haven't done that. Cause that's not how we're even geared up for it. I mean, we buy in bulk and it spreads out, so it's what it is.
But what's in my mind right now is that, yeah, we're talking about continuing to give them the facility, but we don't know what we're giving them.
Well,
We really don't.
we're giving them $250 because that is the 6 hours from 10 to 4. The 6 hours.
That's
of-
not our cost, that's the alternative value of it.
Right, but if we're looking at the value of what it is and decreasing it from that, you take $175 out of that, that would be a basic, just to get the cleaning done. That's not counting everything else that needs to get done, and the times that if somebody calls, we're on call. Floyd and I are on call on Saturdays and Sundays, so if anything happens, we come out, or we will answer the phone, so that's not even counting staff time that is also being taken by us on the weekends when if anything goes wrong. So there's more than just light bill, water bill, cleaning. There's also the fact that I base my activities around when people come in on the weekends. And when they leave. So does Floyd. And so Floyd and I cover each other all the time, and so it's hard. Tom, it's not that it's not impossible, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of moving parts to this. Miss Paul saw me on Saturday afternoon, didn't you? Because there was an issue here, and so I went riding and came here, and before I even went home, just to fix something here. So we're on call too, so if we're gonna start factoring everything, we also have to factor the fact that we're having staff coming, being available, basically. He's 24/7.
Even if we're not coming in, we're still responding, don't you? It's
Exactly.
always on the call. So I mean, so it hasn't been factored in on the micro level, what I think you're asking for.
Right.
Because that's really not been how we've been here at all.
So should we table this till
I guess.
December's meeting? Do we have time to discuss?
Well, in the meantime, we need to get together and try to get an idea of what the cost is.
I had a question. If we charge you a fee, are you taking your market to another town?
I'll present it to the board and the kids,
And so that's that.
It's not student led or student run.
Where do you guys get your money from?
We get them through donations in the market. All our money from the market goes directly to Nicaragua where we do a camp.
Right.
So from what I'm seeing, we've been, Teen Hunger been here since 2020, based on some of the history, I guess. 17, okay. So, and you've been over this whole time? So I'm just wondering, have y'all ever went to the other towns to try to use them? We were the first one?
We try to build a relationship with
With
these
us,
covered
okay.
eyes.
So,
That's our base rate.
I think we should keep that relationship, but give us a chance to talk about it and come up with a fixed price, because like they said, inflation going up, everything's going up. And I know it's about 8 dates y'all got right here, and we could have been making money for the town. So we think we need to get a price set, that way if other churches are profit come and ask, just like Ms. Paul said, I think it's a good idea. We should be, on board with everybody the same way. I know you're doing a good thing for the other country, but we all just need to be on board.
I agree with that 100%. But I would say that one of the things that we can look at is, in addition to a minimum fee, there could be a minimum hour fee. Like we could ask y'all to supply us with labor for so many hours a month. And we could use it in our library, we could use it, picking up trash in the yard.
Who's
out
gonna
here.
manage that though? Because you're also putting, you're putting additional management on the staff that has full schedules as it is. So, or who's gonna manage that?
Well, I've managed the police, the sheriff that had, kids that had to do community service. I've been out here with them. I've been out here with,
Okay, well, I think-
with people in the library.
I think we need to discuss having a price that we charge nonprofits, if that's the route that you guys wanna go, and that, just simply as that. I mean, other things become too confusing and it's putting a lot of extra jobs on people.
Well, I bring it up because this is one thing we're trying to do, is we're trying to find things for the kids to do on a volunteer basis.
And I think that they still would volunteer.
Yeah, we
You know, I
have
think,
done
but I don't think you need to give people hours to manage, to do this and this and this every month, that's a lot. I think if you can get with Jeff, you know, he'll give you his phone number, I'm sure, and if kids want extra hours
Yeah.
doing stuff, I think,
You remember, we've done the Christmas trees,
Yeah.
we put them up, we've had them put up signs. I mean, every Saturday they come, they walk through, they do a cleanup, you know, we have people helping with putting the trailer, picking trailers, so, you know, they're there to help out, for sure.
so should we make a motion to discuss this at December's meeting?
I think yours is a good idea that we would just have time to talk about it and just make a decision in December.
Yeah,
And presumably it's gonna work,
right,
it'll be acceptable.
yeah. All right,
So we-
Okay, well, before we do that, if someone, I mean, we're not gonna have an executive, we're not gonna have a work session to
Well,
discuss
couldn't
that,
we?
so that we have some information in December to go off that number. What is our plan?
we could.
Are we gonna have staff look at it and give us a number, kinda like what Tom was saying, or are we just gonna pull one out of the air and say, oh, this is about what we think, or how are we gonna arrive at that number before
Yeah.
we have another?
I think it sounds good that the staff can do it because they're the main one that know more about it than us, so. And you guys.
Can we charge you to come up with a minimum fee for nonprofit to make a suggestion?
I mean,
Pick a number. 250. I mean, seriously,
Okay,
I
so,
mean,
We can look and get numbers,
Right.
we'll probably look at other examples, what other towns so our
Yeah.
size are doing.
and
But I really don't want us to get into the,
What's
into
the-
the micro management.
remind me of what the
No.
normal
the
charge
house
is.
costs.
$250.
And so if they just rented it, you know, if it was Jeff off the street.
If it was Jeff off the
Saturday.
street, it would be $250 for 6 hours.
Okay,
That's what it would be.
Okay. Okay, so can I get a motion to table it till December's meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Polly made a motion,
I'll second it.
Cynthia's a second, all in favor? Unanimous? All right, does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome, thanks Jeff.
Didn't mean to take it
So
on your
next,
time.
next meeting is December 1, by the way.
Okay,
Okay.
the next item is the composite plat, for the review approval, pages 9 and 10. Floyd, do you want to?
Yeah, so from my perspective, I think this is actually pretty cut and dry. As you guys remember, you rezoned several parcels of property a couple of months ago, moving it from R1, a residential 1, to traditional commercial highway. Applicants come back and they're asking to make it into one lot instead of 3 other lots, 3 separate lots. It's just basically a formality. Looking at the zoning ordinance, which would take, the precedence on this, it doesn't really, on a black and white reading, it doesn't really give me the authority to really approve this. It does say that the authority is either with a zoning administrator, which we don't have, or a zoning committee, which we don't have, and failing those, it comes to the council. So that's why it's in front of you. It looks cut and dry to me, frankly, they're just trying to combine 3 properties into one. But I think that the proper approach, given the zoning ordinance, is for your approval and not mine. So that's how I read it. And if you wanna make me the approver after the fact, I think that's up to council, but I think in this case, for this purpose, it's up to your decision.
Alright,
And then I guess the motion would be for both you and I to sign, because we're both on the signatory block.
okay. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I don't think so, so we're just going from 3 to 1.
Yeah.
We're not changing anything about the
He's a quarter one.
plan design.
Oh, it's 3.
Yeah, it's 3, and it's just,
Yeah, I wrote 4 and I was doing my draft and I never came back and fixed it, but
Okay.
it's 3.
Okay.
you're good.
Well, I'll move that we accept the changes to the composite plat.
Okay, Alex,
Do I need to include language about who signs off on it?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Okay, and that would be to you and Elizabeth?
Yes.
So, and then we accept the composite plat with the approval of, or signatures of the clerk and the mayor, Lloyd and Elizabeth.
All right, so Alex is the first,
Second.
Holly is the second, all in favor? Unanimous, all right. The next item is the resolution 2025-9, is the commitment to roll back the 2027 millage rates to 0.00 mils based on the approval of the floating local option sales tax, the FLOSS, pages 11 through 12. Now, we actually won't do this until, we won't do a rollback until we
Right,
discuss millage rates.
right, so,
But, yeah. go
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt. Everybody should have one of these in front of you. Okay, this is not, it's not official yet. I'm gonna be bringing the first reading of the budget at the next meeting. It is sort of a real, I think, good faith effort on a first look at what the budget will be next year. If you're on the same page I'm on, this packet here, with the highlights on it, you're gonna see that at the very top for revenue is real property tax, and that is how your millage rates come into effect. You set your millage rates, that's your property tax. FLOSS was passed with the understanding that it would offset property taxes, okay? And so, this resolution is making a promise to the people that when we come to you as a council in August of this coming year, that the proposal would be that property taxes roll down to nothing for everybody in the town. 0.00. The reason, and so that means if you get a tax bill, and you will, that's just the way it will go. If you look on the line item for the town of Sharpsburg, it will say 0 taxes in that sense. Okay? Which I think is a good thing. Who's gonna argue that? So where does the money come from? That is the FLOSS. So it is our promise to the people that they voted for this, and we can now lower property taxes and offset with FLOSS. It's sort of ironic, but if you're looking at the first line on the first page, you'll see that number, 34. If you go to the last page, that's FLOSS. That's FLOSS. And that's where the money's coming from. And you'll see that this is a 1 cent sales tax on all purchases in the county as approved by the voters. So I'm using 34,000 of what's projected, and what is being projected is 92,000. We're projected to get 92,000 off the SPLOST per the information from Coweta County. Using 34,000 as your property tax, and that leaves us clearing approximately 58,000 that we can save for the following year, and the following year after that. And we'll start helping the town start doing things along the lines of, say, I don't know, a reserve fund. How about we can start with something along those lines, or if we need to look at bringing in additional staffing, for instance, as has been discussed in the times past. But that will leave you, if things go as I'm projecting it will, that you'll have close to 60,000 sitting in the bank around this time next year, based on Coweta's reckoning. And we will actually be able to meet our bills, match our bills, and continue forward. So the point being is this resolution is going to be sort of an upfront promise that when we come up to August, we're going to say no property taxes. Now there's a danger to this. The danger is that FLOSS is not forever. It comes up for renewal every 5 years. And so we also have to be mindful that in 5 years from now, if it doesn't pass again, then you're going to have to, at some point, raise taxes. And that's where you're going to have somebody say, oh, you're just trying to raise taxes. I think this is a good effort to say that while we have FLOSS, we can start looking at not having property tax. It's just how I think it goes. It's obviously up to council, but knowing that there's a danger that it may not be renewed in 5 years, at least for now, we can at least show that we're doing our goodwill and saying we will not have property taxes. And it does meet the budget, by the way.
Well, if I'm reading this right, this resolution just says that we're supporting reducing the millage rate.
Correct.
Obviously, we're not going to actually do it until it's time to do it.
You don't, right, you're not gonna vote on it until August, but this is an upfront effort to say this is the intention of the
Which is
council.
a resolution. Okay, well, I mean, I would make a motion that we adopt this resolution,
Okay,
2025-09.
Alex has a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Holly's a second, all in favor? Unanimous? Thank you.
That looks like a 5-0, right?
Yep,
Okay.
so the next
So-
item is, so according to the floss, you have to have a separate bank account. So this is for the new bank account, the authorization to open the new bank account to receive the floss funds, pages 13 through 31.
So what the IGA, what the county and the town requires is that we have a separate bank account so that every month, starting at the end of January, county is going to provide floss funds to us, and it goes into a separate bank account. It needs to be separated out from your regular operating account and other SPOS accounts. But this is intended to offset property taxes, and property taxes go to operating expenses. So I think the best way to do this is first to put it on record that we're gonna open up another bank account that is specific for floss. But when I come to you guys for budgetary issues, or when I come to you saying, here's what the millage rate is, would be like, but we're offsetting with floss. At that point, I think there's gonna be a resolution that's gonna come alongside it. It's going to be an authorization from council, and only from council, not from an individual person, but coming from council saying that we agree as a council to move whatever that number may be, X amount of dollars from floss into the operating account so we can pay our bills. And that's how I think we can do it and manage it and show accounting and auditors and everybody else along the way that we're being fiscally responsible about it.
I agree.
So this is just basically putting it out there for accounting's sake, for everybody's knowledge. This is how the funds are going to be spent and how they're going to be managed. As an open book, I don't want there to be any secrets or, any kind of shadings with this. I want it to be straightforward.
Yeah.
And you'll see, I apologize, at the bottom of my write-up on it, I really have 4 parts that need to be done. So it's gonna be a lengthy motion or possibly 4 separate motions, but I would prefer that we itemize each of these as part of the motion and make it all together, or separately, but make it so that this is in effect and understood.
Okay, so, let's see here.
When you, on your third point, any funds transferred from floss will occur at the approval of the council. How often do you anticipate, will we be doing that once a month at our meetings? to move that money?
It's hard to tell because you never know what a day may bring, but the way I envision it, it's probably gonna be more like once a year.
Okay, yeah, that sounds tedious, but that would be better if we could just do it in one.
I can't promise that it won't be
Right,
more than
right.
once, but that's my thought.
Okay.
So just a motion to combine all 4.
When you say audited annually, is that by third party?
Yes, well, we have Malden and Jenkins, that's our auditors, and we do have
Just
annual
included
audits
in
all
our-
along, so it includes as well.
Yeah, so that's just
Correct.
some language to make sure that this gets looked at too.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So should we do a motion for Articles 1 through 6, or do you want them named separately, or?
It's up to how you guys want, I would just like for, in some manner, to have them all addressed.
I think we can do it. So I'll move that we, authorize the town administrator to open a new bank account for receiving floss funds. That, all those funds are direct deposited, into the newly established floss account. That any funds transferred from the floss are, approved by the town council. And all funds received from floss, be audited annually.
Okay.
I second.
Is that it?
Alice is the first, Cynthia is the second. All in favor? Unanimous? Good job.
All right, thanks, y'all.
The next item is Ms. Polly.
And that was about renting the,
Yes.
this also came up at the time when we were running short of money,
Yeah.
but I'll go suggest it anyway.
Yeah.
The library, I think, is being greatly underused. Floyd included in the packet how many hours it's been used in the last, well, I haven't got it in front of me, but it's been used only 14 hours in like in a couple of months. And I also had the thought that if we could get some people in there, like a group of people, they may see it and like it and come back.
Yeah.
So I would like to consider renting it.
Okay.
I have no idea if it would be popular. I do know that several years ago when I was with a small group, and I don't know how many of those are around, we had trouble finding anywhere small enough for us.
Right.
The library's got a place big enough for 5, but usually 5 and 200 is
Yeah.
a good use, I think, for a smaller space if people know about it. Now, if it's not gonna get marketed somehow on Facebook or with your community thing, I don't think it would ever be used either. But I would like to suggest that we make a motion to, at least start, let me back up, no motion. We consider the fact that we rent it, consider how much and to whom, and the marketing so that it's known that it's available.
Maybe we should, when staff looks at the numbers for the nonprofit,
Yeah,
maybe look into what the library might rent for. I mean,
Yeah, and then we'd also have to take into consideration the cleaning,
okay.
and, you know, so the.
Well, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be, that's,
yeah.
So we can come up with a figure of what we could charge. I think the marketing,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I think the marketing, you know, we could do some photos of it and put it on our new website.
And I used to have classes, when I first started here, I used to have knitting classes and crochet, because they usually were small groups anyway.
When it was taught that to begin with, that was one of the original plans, was to have small groups in there for small classes.
Yeah,
And that kind of,
I did that.
I don't know how it went.
Yeah, we put together an agreement, not Cynthia and Polly were both on council at the time. And I think, Angie, is when you first
Yes,
got
sir.
here, that, we put together an agreement, and I forgot to offer so that small groups could come in, and of course, the same thing Angie's talking about, the idea about cleaning and that sort of thing. And it seems like in that agreement, we actually put an option in there that they could pay a $25 cleaning fee,
Okay.
or they could clean it to our satisfaction,
Okay.
you know, before they left. So, but I may or may not be able to find that agreement.
So we don't know if that was like ratified or not. I mean, it would have been, right?
Oh,
At the time
yeah.
created.
Yeah, we had-
We have
we
something
had-
on the books.
We had a few, but it's just like anything else.
I got
Okay.
pictures of that.
Certain groups, folks just kind of,
I feel like that was before 2020 maybe,
yeah.
and then
Could've been-
2020 happened
When
and
did
then.
you come?
I came in.
So we're not lacking in
for
documentation.
2020.
It came in 21, we were in August, that was
Yeah.
July.
Well, we may have actually had it in place when you got here.
Yeah, I don't
But
remember
it seemed
any
like
of
it
this.
was 2018, 2019, and then
Yeah, I think you're right.
COVID hit.
And
Well, seriously, I've got a bunch of pictures, I'd say at least half a dozen or better, of children with face painting and watching
Oh,
something on the
yeah.
screen, I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
and crafts.
Yeah, I did crochet, knitting classes in there. I also was coming on Saturdays once a month, and I even had a garden. I had the garden blocks donated. I had 3 of those donated, and to be honest, nobody showed up. And we put it out everywhere, and I had bought seeds and flowers, and the only people that came was Floyd's daughter, and Blue and I.
Well, and you may not be successful the first little while, it might take a while for people to catch on.
Right.
But if people see action, they would,
But we've had other things too. We
Yeah,
tried to
they've
get
been
other things
successful.
going, and I don't know, it's been hard. I mean, and the people with the problems in the library, the only problem that you will have in the library is in the evening, because that area is so dark. And there's that alley, and there's parking is also an issue. There is no parking. I'm not saying that what you're saying is not a good
well,
idea, but I'm just
they
saying,
can park around the corner from over here.
but
And there's not that many people anyways, 10 to 12, I think would be all that would be comfortable.
yeah, it would be, it would be better during the daytime, because I think it's, but again, now we've got daytime, you've got traffic, where do they park? There is no place to park. The people who have the corner also are now parking in front of the library and in that common area. So, to be honest, you don't have parking now, you know.
You're never gonna have parking.
Yeah, we're never gonna, yeah,
You
unless,
know, what you've got is you've got parking in front of Joe's stores on the street, those slots are never used.
the only thing,
If you can't park around the corner and walk,
right,
100 feet.
Yeah, that's pretty safe.
So, can someone rent the library right now if they were interested?
Yes.
We have an agreement on those.
absolutely.
So what we're lacking is just, it's not marketed.
The one thing that we also
That's right.
looked at is having
Right.
the, right in front of the library, and Tom, you and I talked about this, having them in diagonal, so that at least you would have diagonal parking, but then that might be putting
You're not
somebody's.
gonna add any parking by doing that.
No,
The
so,
the
yeah,
only parking options are the property we own in the driveway to the lawn care company.
A park where you're not supposed to until you get caught.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like at your house, Polly?
yeah, exactly.
You gotta find a
That's
spot.
what we could do.
But you're talking about being able to accommodate 5 people. You know, if you got kids involved, they're not gonna be driving, they're not gonna be parking. So,
Right.
I don't understand the argument, really.
I'm just saying, like in the evening though, like at night, that area, like I would have ladies come in the night for knitting and stuff, and they were kind of concerned about,
Well, then don't come if you're concerned. You can't fix everything.
I know, no, and I agree, but when you're talking about people attending and why things end, that's one of the, reasons.
They Saturdays and Sundays all day long and all day during the week, so I think that's,
Yeah, I know.
if people, if it gets to be an issue, we'll deal with it.
Don't tell the messenger, I'm just telling you what the people were telling me, that was going on, and that was kind of disheartening, because I was here, I was here.
Maybe we've got a guest, Joe, and we keep talking, maybe we should ask him if he's got any comments before we continue our conversation.
Joe, do you have any suggestions?
Is it okay to talk?
Yeah.
I'd love to. I just had a couple of things. Some of my tenants were asking about the lights. Now that times changed, they were curious about the church. Folks were asking about it, and then Lynn also was asking about it. They're actually doing a lot of activities later on in the evening after it's dark, and I don't know. They're telling me it's inadequate lighting, or the lights are just not on. I don't know. If y'all can look at that, that would be a big help. And I asked them to come too, because I know they're here and need to kind of speak up specifically. Then the other thing, I'd like to get some information about the sewer consulting report. I don't know if I can have, get that to look at, Freedom of Information Act. But y'all spend a bunch of money on that, I'd love to see that. We've kind of talked a little bit about it, but is that something that I could do?
I'd like to see it myself.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the December agenda.
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
myself, so
the-
is it coming?
Yeah, well, it's still in the draft phase. They had some adjustments that they were gonna do to it, so I'm supposed to have the latest, hopefully soon.
right? So at this point, I would have nothing to provide because I don't even have it, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Everything we can have.
yeah, as soon as I have the final draft, it's yours.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if a rough draft's, that's legal to let me look at it.
I mean, as long as, if you're okay with it, I have
Yeah.
no problem sending you the
I'm
rough
not.
draft.
I just think there may be some ways that we could interact with one another and they'll, I'm sure there's needs of additional property that the town doesn't own within the streets and stuff. And so that's the only reason I'd love to see it, whatever you do have.
Yeah, I can send you the rough draft.
Okay.
When do you expect to have it?
Hopefully soon.
Are they giving you the runaround or?
No,
They just-
no, just been busy. So,
The last comment, I don't know if I heard everything right, but if you're renting the space for $250 for 6 hours and it costs you $175 every time to clean it, I'd just say you're gonna have to go up on the price. That's just me. That's $75 profit, not even counting water, power. But I'm just
No,
I
and
don't know. I may have heard that wrong. So.
let me clarify that. If we have a lady that comes in and she cleans the facility for $175, and it's once a week.
Okay,
If
that's
somebody
fine.
comes in and.
I got the
wants
map
to-
there.
No,
I'm
no,
cool.
no, no,
I'm
if
cool.
if somebody
I
comes in-
gotta go get my wife some food.
Okay.
She's raising Kane on the phone.
Okay.
I thought I'd be here. I thought I'd be out here. But thank y'all so much. And yeah,
Thank you for coming.
y'all got a lot going on, so I'll let y'all continue.
Thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
thanks for coming, Joe.
Yes.
Have a good night, stay warm.
Back to the renting of the place. I should have done that perhaps, but we've been waiting a long time.
Yeah.
No, good.
So so this consideration of, can we just,
We consider it.
yeah, we considered it. I mean, we don't have to take any action, do we? Since
Sounds
we
like
have-
we already have an agreement
Right.
with the
Well,
library.
I think that you've got things in place.
Right.
Right.
The question is, from Ms. Polly's standpoint, is you market the rest of your facility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just include the library in there.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and particularly with the people who are currently renting this space,
Right.
they may know of other people
Yeah.
who could use it. So I think that's,
Is that good, Polly?
So all we gotta do is do it.
Well, we'd
Yeah.
have to charge Angie with it probably, as far as
So-
taking the pictures and getting it on the website, so.
I don't even know what we're charging to rent the library. I've never seen a price list, I've never seen
No,
any of that.
what we did was we charged, when we did it, it was like that we do with the instructors. So it
Okay.
was a 70-30 is what we did with the
So
instructors.
how does that work for somebody who rents it for a birthday party?
I know, we'll have to figure that out.
Why don't we knowing that there's apparently something out there that happened back before maybe everybody here,
I know you.
why don't we take a look and try to come back, we'll come to an answer.
Because
And
they might have a price might need to go up.
I mean, I have no idea, I've never seen it before myself, so,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you gotta look at it and see how much would you, if you were renting it, how much would you pay for it? And it's a tiny, I mean, it's a small room and one bathroom, so you have to, how much do you think is reasonable? So we will have to look at that and figure that one out. And then, Paul, you're more than welcome to figure it out. We need it, okay?
Nobody else has got anything that little, so there's nothing to compare it to. I know of.
we rent it for our role.
Just make it up.
Okay.
No. Now, if you had just a crowd in there playing bridge, you might not rent.
Oh, that's a real good idea.
Yeah,
What
bridge.
if I was just to throw a different approach to this out there, and I don't know, I guess you can shoot the messenger, but I don't know that you're gonna just find people who are able to rent the library out. It is small to begin with, limited parking, et cetera, all that's been discussed.
It's gonna be tough.
What if we just basically said, cover the cost and only the cost, in other words, clean it up, or we charge the clean fee and that's it, and make the rest of it basically a profit neutral, in other words, nothing to it. Outside of that, what are you really getting off of it? What you're really trying to do, from my understanding, is you're trying to get exposure, right? And so exposure may in itself be its own payoff.
Yeah.
So why don't we just charge them their cleaning fee and just say, here's the cleaning fee, we're gonna have Susan come in and clean it up and call it a wash. And now you have it operating, running, getting exposure, et
I
cetera,
think there's an advantage just having it open.
which is kind of where I'm leaning
Yeah.
toward.
And
I think otherwise you're just gonna charge people to be limited.
Yeah.
Now,
Maybe
we'll
that's
have
the way to
books
do it.
in there too, so you have to figure out what happens if books start getting missing, if people start taking books and, you know, borrowing them, let's put it that way. You know, we'll have to understand that there might be those kind of things that we also have to
Who would
take into-
know? I don't, do we know what's in there?
All the books.
We got the books.
I know we got
Amongst
all
us.
the book.
Put them on the list.
That's
So-
what I'm asking you.
So the other
And you would
thing,
know if some were missing, that's what I was asking, I didn't even know you could do that.
so the other thing that Floyd and I have discussed, and we're looking a lot in the security, is the, camera for inside the library, right?
Mhm.
And it was one of the things that we even discussed about having a camera inside the library for security reasons. For many reasons, but security being mainly, since it was geared as a children's library, we talked about
Mhm.
about the safety of the kids and the people and the adults there. So, there are things that we have planned together in regards to the library.
Why is
But I think-
everything so complicated?
I know.
Because it is.
Because-
But I think if you're looking to get exposure, just wait and do it. Just
Right.
let, give the right person the code, let them go in, do what they have to do, and then they just pay the fee. Now you have your exposure, you've got all the needs that you need.
If ever do good, then I was charged next year, start charging a little more.
If we see that there's that
That's
desire,
low,
that need for it,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The reality is that place is so small that by the time you make the phone calls to all the people that you're gonna get into a meeting there,
Yep,
you can take care of the meeting on the phone.
exactly. That's what I'm saying, it's so limited already, right?
Or a Zoom call. It's, you know,
Well, if it's that, like that, why do we still have it?
gotta have it.
Yeah, it's
Now,
a
we
service
could-
we provide.
We could look at it in marketing it to people who work at home but don't wanna be at home, they want a quiet space, like they've got in a lot of the shopping centers, they have these little cubicles people can rent so that they can work.
I think that's getting into a whole.
I'm just saying, that would be,
Now, if somebody doesn't do the thing, and you're kicking them out of a business,
Yeah.
I don't.
No, not that they're a business, they rent, they come in there to do their work
Right,
instead of.
but if they would be doing their business there.
No, wouldn't be doing it, it would be rented to different people, it would not be one person, it
Yeah,
would be
that's-
open to,
But-
like, Tom wants to do his dissertation on whatever, he can go in there for 4 hours and have peace and
But
quiet.
then we're getting back into having tenants.
Correct, that's
So
the other problem,
I
I
think
know.
that's a no-go.
Exactly.
Let's move on to this meeting calendar.
So are we just tabling it or moving on, or?
Well,
Well, there's nothing to
yeah, I
take action on.
Right.
we can add the pictures to the website. I don't
Okay.
know what else.
I've got some kids' pictures if you wanna put up.
Okay.
So basically, the concept is just go ahead and market it, no renting, nothing like that, and just see where it comes.
Does that sound good, Polly?
All of a sudden, I had some kids' pictures in the library.
Yeah, but does it
Let her
sound,
have them, yeah.
does it sound good that we're just gonna say we're gonna
Yeah,
market
that
it?
sounds great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you sound like you do it already.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
gotta figure out how.
All right.
How much.
There's some specific marketing.
Okay. Well, I didn't even know about this agreement back in, I guess, almost 10
Well, I
years
knew
ago.
we
so-
had it, but I didn't know, I think I went on the council when that took place.
Okay.
All right, so,
If any of y'all will volunteer to go to the library,
the next item is the meeting calendar, approval of the 2026 meeting calendar.
I didn't hear that. I was talking.
All right, so we're on to the meeting calendar
Yeah.
now. Just a little bit of a note, the dates are a little bit jumbled because we're having to prepare for the governor's election next year. So this room, as you know, is often used while we're having, while we normally have a council meeting, instead it's gonna be offset because of elections. Where it gets sort of funky is when you get into September. And no matter how you cut it, we're gonna be we're gonna be like a meeting in September, then 2 weeks later, meeting in October.
Right.
I don't know that we would want to do that.
Yes, we do, we wanna see you, yes.
Well, you wanna see my beautiful smile, is that it? But, I mean, that may be one thing you might want to consider is possibly not having a September meeting, or maybe just bear in mind we get closer and see if there's even a need for
Yeah,
that.
we maybe look like.
Because otherwise,
2
we're
months.
just a bunch of meeting on top of meeting,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
like in, July to see if, you think September would be necessary.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So it may not be, but, outside of that, of course, when it comes down to a governor's election and a presidential election, there's also gonna be runoffs.
Right.
I've baked in the ones that I am sure are gonna happen, but we don't have the calendar yet, the election calendar, so this may also amend as we go through. Just to let you know, we're putting it out there to have something to say, this is what we think it'll be, but it's likely gonna be changing throughout next year,
Okay,
okay?
Well, I motion to approve the calendar for 2026.
okay, Cynthia made a motion, do we
A
just,
second,
Allison the second, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, so the next item is old business. We
None.
don't have anything on old business, no public comments. Polling of the council. Cynthia?
I have nothing.
Tom?
When I was in here that Saturday, she was mentioning, she was showing me where the floor was dirty,
Uh-huh.
and I noticed that it's on the seams,
Okay,
and there's one place right here in this area that's totally got a bump in it. And we may be under the tables, you saw it,
I saw
because he
it.
came out and did like that. I'm wondering if they sealed this properly, because I don't think the dirt should be in straight lines.
So we have a call into Celia, that's the lady with Concrete by Design, and she's supposed to be coming out this week to take a look and
Yeah.
to reevaluate on that.
Because I think something needs to be, there's no reason for it to be straight, in little straight lines, in
Right.
several places, and a bump over there.
yeah,
Good, thank you for
yeah,
That's it.
that's it. All right, administrators report.
Oh, I've always got something. Okay, first of all, Brad and I met with, I guess over a Zoom call with Codifying, give you an update on that. We were able to clarify some things with them, that they are back to the drawing board and putting final touches on the codifying. I don't think it's gonna be that much longer before we start coming to the
Nice.
council with some real findings here.
Nice.
But letting you know that, that's still going, but we knew it'd be a slow progress, but it is still progress, and we're going that way. Next, for ethics filings. This year, 2026, coming up, is gonna look very similar to everything you've ever known. I'll be calling and letting you know that you're doing ethics filings. But we have a letter that has come from GMA, where in 27, ethics filings are done individually by you. I have the letters in front of you. They're using a new process which I've never heard or used before, one that's called Peach File, so I'll be looking into it so that I can try to be a little bit more aware whenever you guys ask me what to do, I can have something I can tell you. But in 27 and forward, I'll be saying it's time to file your ethics, but it's on you to do it, not come to me about it.
Okay.
Make sense? Georgia Power has notified us that they're going to be going around and updating power meters. So if you have somebody who knocks on your door and wants to update a power meter, this will be from a company called Next Gen Energy Services,
Can you get one, Tom?
and they're gonna show up and want to do
me
that.
too.
You got one too?
They've been to my house too.
And they've been to your house, so they are legit. If you get them, they're legit. Okay? Today, we got another letter. This is also from GMA. They have, I guess as of today, their safety board has been dissolved by the board of directors. Now, that may not mean much, but we get a safety grant from them about every year, about $3,000 or $4,000. I'm not sure how it'll affect this year. I think we're still gonna be okay this year, but we may be looking at losing a grant that, in the coming years because of that. All right, and then tomorrow we're closed. It's federal holiday, Veterans Day. So we'll be closed tomorrow and reopening up on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay, and that's where we are.
So mayor's updates, I just wanted to talk to you all about a couple of issues that we're having with the renters in the facility. So we're having a problem, some renters are having a problem with a cleaning issue, right, Floyd? So
Yes.
we suggested maybe having an additional day that the cleaner comes in and then it's split between all the renters. If we need an additional cleaning day. And that unfortunately sparked some outrage,
Who about whom?
pretty much everyone. And some people called each other and now everyone knows that the quilters get the facility for free. So now we're in a predicament of no one thinks it's fair that someone gets it for free and they don't get it for free. So,
Angie and I spend a lot of time and a lot of energy with dealing with the fires that are in here. One group gets it for free, the other wants to get it for free because they don't understand why one gets to come in and not pay anything and they're getting paid, and the one who's making the complaint is actually your top payer, and they're asking how come there's an issue here. You know, why is sort of a sense of favoritism going on? Then we have, as people leave, we've had complaints about the cleanliness of the place. And so it's actually real. There will be times whenever Angie particularly is in here mopping the floors, wiping the tables, making sure things are done.
She was mopping the day I came in.
And whenever we approach the renters or the instructors in this case and tell them, hey, you got a complaint, somebody complained about you, it immediately turns around, well, you don't know about us because we came into something dirty, and it even devolved into, I guess about a month ago, where one of our renters came in on a Saturday night for a dance party. Do I need to say who? Came in for a dance party. They saw that a renter had come in earlier that day, had messed it up. They are obligated to clean up what they see. Instead, they left the mess for the Sunday renters and told Angie that they're not going to ever clean it up, and that if we want to clean, we will ever come in ourselves on a Saturday and clean up.
And you got a contract that says if they make one mistake, you can deny them coming back.
yeah.
Enforce it.
So we have a 30-year sort of practice of allowing these instructors to show and go. And so we can enforce it, and if we do, we're going to throw them out. And if that happens, then there are general practices to pick up and start calling and raising all kind of cane. So, but I mean, I'm at my bandwidth, frankly, of having to play the romper room and the person who's having to chase these people and manage these people. And hearing the complaints and hearing the cries of outrage, and if we tell them that they're going to have to clean up or pay up, you get to hear about all that too. Where it's kind of going in my mind is we've also looked at other cities of our size, and they don't really even do instructors.
Right.
So it's a question to me, we're the outlier in this case. We are the outlier. We're the ones doing instructors. They are literally 2% of our budget. And is it worth it for 2% of our income on a day in, day out basis for 30-something years? And any and everybody I talk to who knows the history of these crowds will tell you that they've been a problem. And it's been a long problem. So my thought is, I'm one of those that says, let's take the broadsword and just absolutely cut it off. On the other hand, you've got some folks that if I did that, they're good people. And you're gonna be wiping out the good and the bad.
Are they residents, the instructors that are
No.
having this?
No.
Are they bringing anybody in, to rent it some other time based on, I guess, like the dance team? One of the members might want to say, let's go have, let's rent it and have.
One of the dance people they met at the dance party and had a wedding, rented the facility for their wedding.
The answer is yes. So you will sometimes, in fact, this past weekend, we had Mr. Mercer Hill who is a dancer at the dance, who comes in at dance parties. And so yes,
He's a
there is
dancer,
that.
but he's not the instructor.
No.
Not the instructor, no.
So, if we were to, like you said, we have the right, Ms. Paula, to deny them use it again once they don't do what we say, just don't give it to them, because we're not losing them.
I was on the
Just lose
phone
a
and
headache, just lose a headache, that's all.
I mean, if they're
I mean,
violating,
my position is that what is the point of even having instructors anymore? They come in, they do their thing, they leave. And what's the point?
it's like babysitting.
Yeah.
I was on the phone again last week, you can tell by my stuff. I called Turin and Moreland, both of them ran, and they said they have rarely have problems with the people cleaning up after themselves.
Yep.
Moreland does have somebody that cleans up after them if they need it. but they also don't tolerate it. I think the people we've got are just plain spoiled because they've been here so long.
Yeah, I've even heard
And
the words.
I think it needs to be dealt with in a business-like fashion and with clear warning, and tell them that you're not gonna renew if they leave a mess.
Yeah.
And then don't get over picky, you know what I mean, and that may be where be a
Well,
problem.
over picky is sort of subjective, right? 'Cause
That's why maybe be a problem.
Well, here's where the problem becomes. What we tell them is if you make a mess, clean it up. If you leave garbage, then take the garbage.
That's
with you.
pretty cut and dry.
Right.
Right?
That's
If you
expected
take
anyway.
garbage, then you take the garbage with you. Sometimes we'll get the call that says, well, we walked to there and literally found a quote gum. In fact, it's not even a quote, it's an actual, there's a gum wrapper in there. Somebody left a
Well,
mess.
it's something like that.
I'm not too wild about, let's have complaints about gum wrappers, but it opens up that door. Well, okay, what if it's
Well, you get
a whole
big-
thing of paper towels, and now it's that subjectivity that rolls into play as well, right? Whereas
Whatever.
too much, right?
You got your rule, enforce it.
Mhm.
Or either don't complain or mark off the rule.
Well, the issue is that it's, these people are gonna be a 30-year problem, and whenever I enforce it, they're gonna be running right out here to
Right.
you guys.
Well, that might be a good
Insane.
idea.
Yeah.
Just tell them, call one of your counselors, that you just following procedure. That's what everybody tells you when they don't, you know how you got a phone
Mhm.
call, well, that's our procedure.
But we also gotta look at them complaining about the equivalent people getting a free and they don't.
Yeah.
I thought we had decided to charge everybody. I
No,
can't remember.
no, whenever this came up earlier this year, actually, that was the thing I was recommending against, is giving it to free for anybody.
Yeah.
And it was the
Just
idea
trying
that
to
we,
free, huh?
by doing so, we're allowing them, because they're quilters, they're donating for veterans. And therefore, because they're doing a good, they should have it for free, which is where council directed.
Yeah.
But I was advising against that for the very issue that we're now running against. Is that's what we're running up on.
How big is the quilting,
Oh.
club?
I'm sorry?
How big is they club, I mean, the people that come?
They'll be here, they'll be here tomorrow, and there's usually, it varies because you always get a different number, but I would say at least 15 to 20 people.
Yeah.
at a time.
I've been telling them to go use the locker.
Have you been, so this problem renter, have you guys been documenting and writing
Yes,
the issues you've had?
yes.
Yeah,
So,
and,
I mean, I'm of the mind to just, you remove the bad apples,
Mhm.
and you keep the ones that don't complain and that do a good job, and then the ones that are a constant problem, we no longer have to offer them our services, that's fine.
And let the
And-
others, let the others.
And if they're jealous that we gave it to the quilters, then they can come to the meeting and ask, or read the notes of why we made that decision, but yeah. I think some of this stuff, I do agree with Polly, you can give them a very simple answer and say, call your council person, you can give them my number, give them my email. Call a council person, come to a meeting and talk to us, but yeah, if they're giving you guys problems and they're violating the contract, then just can them and tell them we're no longer gonna offer them their services, but we don't have to close the door to everyone immediately. I mean, if we see it continuing, we wanna go that direction, but I don't think we have to go so black or white right off the bat, just cause, they complain or they blow your phone up or whatever, I mean.
Maybe we give them a warning,
I'm at
you
a
know?
point where I'm just done with getting those calls.
I would trust your
I'm like,
instinct.
you're fired,
I
you're
would
fired.
trust your
you're fired.
judgment to say cancel their contract, that's fine, we're no longer gonna do, and if they run around and, and wanna come to a meeting and push back against that, that'd be fine, and we can answer for that, But yeah, if they're violating the contract, that's a problem, we won't do business with them anymore.
What if we ask them to come before council at the beginning of the year for the next year's
For what?
rentals?
For a review.
Yeah, and we basically say, listen, here's the deal. You've got a contract, you have to adhere to it, if you don't adhere to it,
I don't like that, Elizabeth.
have them,
Mayor.
yeah, have them come to the meeting in January for the year's, or December meeting,
Mhm.
and for next year's rentals, and so we can tell them, hey, if you don't abide by the contract, it's done.
Okay, and then we can do whatever
And
you
then
guys
stand
want,
by it.
but I think,
Yeah, and then
but
we'll,
it has to be stood by.
yeah,
It has to be stood by.
well, I think then at least if we do that, we have even more documentation, and hopefully that will go a little further than just you and Angie coming to them and saying, hey, we've talked about this 15 times, but it's now us saying that, you have to adhere to the contract, or we don't have to do this.
I like that, Linda.
I like it, I like it a lot. We've spent way too much time crying and barking about the, I mean, even to the point of whether or not you can have a cement floor.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things we put in the cement floor, as an example, we put it in because we were getting complaints that dancers were slipping and falling. We literally put it in so that it would be a non-slick surface so they wouldn't slip and fall, and we got a complaint that it was this type of concrete floor. It's like everything we do is,
Yeah,
and it comes with, we're entitled, it comes with,
yeah, we were told we were entitled.
I haven't been here for,
Uh-huh,
oh, no, we got the word that, we were greedy.
yeah.
That we're greedy. Yeah.
So let's see, we just spent $100,000 upgrading the place, putting in a new air conditioner in return for $6,200 in gross revenue,
Yeah.
and we're greedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
The math doesn't add up.
I told them their math doesn't work.
Yeah.
But their biggest issue is that they're here and that the argument that I keep getting thrown back to is that I'm nothing but a short termer and that I don't have the history and Angie,
I don't think our rental agreement considers
No.
history.
it doesn't, but the unfortunate factor is that for many decades at this point, that has been a factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has been a factor. I mean, you're seeing me sitting here saying, I'm ready to burn that whole shit down.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that sticks in my craw, among other things, you voiced them all, is the idea of Angie coming in here and acting as the janitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really pees me off.
Yeah.
That's just not right.
Or whenever Angie says to clean up, then you can pull the emails where they're actually literally writing back and saying, well, I saw this when I walked in, therefore I'm not gonna clean it up.
Or the email saying it was a mess when I got there, and so I shouldn't have to. My people shouldn't have to throw. You know, I shouldn't have to take their trash out too.
Or why don't your staff just come in and clean it up on a Saturday before we show up?
Yeah, I think if you have their infractions documented and that they violated, our contractual agreement, then, I mean, I would trust you and Angie's judgment and authority to say, okay, well, you violate your contract, we have to cancel it. I mean,
You're done.
If they don't like that answer, then run it up the chain, come talk to the council, I mean, yeah, if you violated the agreement and your problem, it can't be like, we singled you out because we don't like your attitude.
Yeah.
But if we have documented.
Yeah, it's not that I'm gonna see those who don't like
Infractions.
their attitude, but one of the ones we're talking about, Elizabeth is aware, I wanna say it was in March, we had a renter that was in here on a Saturday. They came in while the renter was legitimately here on their time, came in and basically started interfering
Kicked them
with
out.
folks and kicked them out.
Kick them straight out.
So I wrote a letter to them, put it in documentation, and said that is never to happen again. They wrote a letter back, did they not?
Yep.
Well, sorry we did that, but this is just what we did, sort of thing. I'm like,
With no remorse, no, we won't do it again.
It was a long
it was a
sob
long
story.
way,
Yeah.
which, it was a long sob story about, it was my 80th birthday and such and so on, whatever. Yeah, that was my reply too, actually.
I don't even like the disco ball.
So,
Why is that?
but what is, to me, the biggest issue is that it has been permitted for 30-something years. So it's been permitted well before my time.
Yeah.
I will enforce it, I don't have a real problem at all. In fact, I want to be able to go home and not have to worry about this person or wake up thinking I'm about to hear this person.
Well, let's tell the council
Same.
that we want them to come to the December meeting
Mm-hmm.
to request the,
Are we doing it for everybody?
yeah.
How many are there? 5, 4?
You got quilters, you've got
Art?
dog, you've
Okay.
got art, and you've got dance. You got 4 of them.
4. And that's dog too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about the first aid person? He takes a whole
That's
day.
Sam. He comes in on Fridays, and it's not every month even. I think last time was a couple months ago. But that's Sam, we can bring Sam in too, and just say, guys, pitch your case.
If there's a community benefit, whether it be the quilters doing things for the veterans or the medical guy coming in or whatever else in the future, fine. Let them know what the rules are and accommodate them. But if you've got somebody that's coming in here and just abusing it just because they've been doing it for 35 years,
You gotta go.
back when the Charleston was popular,
Mhm.
I mean,
They gotta go.
they gotta go. Well, that's not necessarily they gotta go, but if they can't play right, they can't play in the sandbox.
No, they gotta go. They gotta go. That's where I'm at. They gotta go.
Even if they're legacy?
I can give a damn if they're legacy.
Oh, we can't get rid of our legacy.
Oh, Lord, this is funny. I'm a legacy. I've been here longer than you.
Yeah, you are probably.
Oh, man.
It's rare that I get to cuss them, but if you get me to cussing, that means there's a thing. And
Polly, you joined the dating society and it was carbon dating.
They didn't have that. You
so,
think I'm kidding, no, no.
All right.
so what I'm hearing is bring them forward.
Yep, I
Okay,
think that's a good idea.
all right.
So we can discuss it on the next agenda then.
Yeah, and we can just tell them, listen, this is the contract and you have to adhere to it, and if there's one problem at all, we're done.
And also that if we said Phillips can get it free, they can get it free. It was up to us.
Mhm. I'll
Yeah,
leave it at
Okay,
that.
it is.
I mean, they're welcome to ask for anything they feel free to ask for, and it's up to council's discretion to,
What would they ask for? What do you
I don't
think?
know, who knows? I don't know, but, you know, I mean,
Well,
they
if they can
come-
give back to the community, hey, we might just even give you free, but give something to the community.
Well-
Well, free classes, so. Bring the
It
kids
might not
in.
be a bad idea when we're looking at the fee for the nonprofits, to look at a fee for the weekly rental for in here.
Well, you would have the fee for the quilter class then.
Yeah,
And just
that's
say
what I'm
nonprofit is nonprofit is
Yeah,
nonprofit, and
right.
that takes the argument out of you're just giving this for free to somebody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then it's just that across the board, if anybody asks, we know what the fee is for nonprofits, and that's it, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
And you break the rules, no matter who you are, you can't come back.
So I've thought about the issue of, do you worry about the paper that's left on the floor? If it's me, I think a little bit of judgment comes into play.
Yes.
I'm not concerned about that. But it is also, at this point, you give an inch and you expect somebody to take a mile. It's not gonna be just the paper, it's gonna be everything else they leave behind, right? So, I think we're gonna have to just say, the basic bottom line is, you make that mess, you clean it up. If you come in and you find it's a mess, let us know, we'll deal with the person before you.
Yeah.
And you clean it up. And if you don't clean it up and somebody else walks in and complains on you, that's it, you're
Yeah.
done. That's it. Clean up your junk.
I agree.
Clean up your junk. Whether you made it or didn't make it, when you
Doesn't
walked
matter.
out, make sure it's clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
They can just free.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that, we don't have anything on executive session,
Actually, one thing, which I promise will take, I hope 3 minutes,
okay,
but executive session and nobody's here,
okay,
okay? So,
do we need a motion?
since since nobody's here, do we have to move to go into executive, or can I just say it out loud?
Just get a motion to go to executive.
Can we get a motion to go into executive
I
session
move that we go to executive session
for
Okay, real estate.
All right,
for real estate.
real
Mhm.
estate?
you need to turn off your
Oh. Okay, give me a second, I'll hard put up all the stuff.
And I promise this won't take but a second, but I just need to run